Well, we didn't get to see Deion Jones against the Patriots. That's the linebacker from the Falcons that the Browns traded for a couple weeks ago. Linebacker coach Jason Tarver talked about what he has seen for Jones and if he might be available against the Ravens.
He's a professional. He works. He brings great energy to work every day. He has a smile on his face. He has experienced the highest of highs and some lows in this business. Everything's happened to him, or he's made it happen. From coming into the league, going to the Pro Bowl, he's excellent at taking the ball away. He's scored many touchdowns on defense, which is a hard thing to do. And then he's overcome injuries. And he's seen different schemes. So he's seen it all. He's been absolutely wonderful to work with, and I can't wait to see what he does.
Is he somebody that you guys envision kind of splitting time with Jacob there at the mic, or is he somebody who can play really all three of those spots?
Well, we said that we had 4 starters when we started this year, and we've used them accordingly. So in certain game plans, some of the guys play more than others in different personnel packages. Like last week, we had a few different personnel packages, so we used 1 or 2 or all 3 of them. What's really cool about him is he's played Mike and Will. He's made the calls for many years. So you will see him in with 1 or 2 of the other guys at Mike and Will. And I won't say any more than that based off of personnel packages.
Do you think this is a week, but is he ready to go?
He's had a very good week of practice. So, you know, yesterday he was moving around really well.
So, Jeff, in my mind, this run defense hasn't looked the same since Anthony Walker got injured. I guess the question I got to ask you is Deion Jones a guy that can fill that role for this defense? Because I don't think they got the answer in that locker room before they brought him in.
I would absolutely have to agree with you. But look, sometimes, you can have young talent, but sometimes young talent maybe needs to be orchestrated. It needs to be directed. And maybe that's what we got to see with a guy like Anthony Walker. I think we're all pretty confident in the type of player Sione Takitaki is at the Sam. But, your Mike, your Will, these are the guys that are really supposed to go out there and make the playmakers, be the playmakers, I should say. And when you get to the point where the guys are playing with confusion, or they end up getting to the point where they're a little bit tired, or they're getting leaned on a little bit, now they're starting to overcompensate. They're not sticking to their assignment. They're not staying, not trying to make sure they're in their run fits and overcompensating, trying to make a big play. You can't do that because it throws off the whole harmony of the defense. A guy like Deion Jones understands what team defense is all about. He understands that, I may get dropped here by a 320-pound guard, but that's my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. Deion Jones comes in here, no contract for next year. So obviously he's going to come in here to look to make a name for himself. And if that means, he's got to be the leader, he's got to be the one that points guys out. He's got to be saying, hey, you did it wrong. Don't do it again. You need that type of veteran presence. Also, I think the thing with Deion Jones this year, particularly this week, is this is a guy who's been in the NFL for a while and has a pretty solid penchant for being a coverage linebacker. You've got a guy like Mark Andrews, who has absolutely destroyed the Cleveland Browns franchise for his entirety of his career. You're probably going to want to go some high and low on him with a safety over the top, a linebacker underneath. Deion Jones being the most experienced, best coverage linebacker the Browns have currently, without even taking a snap yet. This is the guy you're probably going to used to take that underneath stuff with Mark Andrews and make sure that he did, physically and understand that the safety is there to pass him off to. We get a lot of this, with the Browns coverage, just assuming the next guy did what he was supposed to, and maybe you left somebody a little bit too early. You just can't have that. It's not going to happen with a guy like Deion Jones, who's got a reputation of being a solid guy in coverage. And you're going to need that with a player like Mark Andrews this week. It's always been Lamar's go-to guy. When the chips are down, he's always been able to make a play for Lamar. And, this is not going to be any different this week. Lamar's going to be looking for number 89 as return to practice today for the Ravens. So I think we're going to see more Deion Jones than they're trying to let on. And it seems like a little bit like they're trying to basically, keep the cat in the bag, so to speak.